Why haven't you explained how to do everything in the intro?
Just gonna go for it. Alright boys, welcome to the dojo, my man. How y'all doing? Today we're looking at gliding, how to fly, how to go from one side of the map to the other side. So first of all, how to glide. Alright, so when you go over a wall and your back is faced to the wall, if you use your left stick to go against the wall, no matter what your perspective is, if you just make sure your left stick is pointing towards the wall, then you click R2. If you do this fast enough and you are close to the wall like you're seeing in these clips, you should be able to pull it off. Once you're comfortable with just starting up a glide, you'll notice that you won't always go as far as you want it to go or as far as you see me going. There's this thing called buffer. Buffer refers to the distance you have traveled above the edge that you want to use. So the more you travel, the further you'll go, and if you travel less, you'll go less far. Anytime you use an edge glide, you reset your buffer to 0, and all distance has to be made again. Also, after you've used a buffer in a glide, that glide is now a buffered up glide. Now the buffer glide makes it so that you can keep on using that same edge over and over again, as long as you make sure that you've stayed above the edge that you have used to glide. So that edge now has a buffer in it, and that buffer allows it to get reused even after you've used it, as long as you stay above the edge. We're moving on to angles. So how do you influence angles? Well, basically, the closer and higher you are when you take a glide, the lower your angle will be. If you increase the distance, your angle will go up. If you increase the distance plus you go lower, the angle will reach its maximum point. Honestly, the only real way to get a low angle is just by being too close and too high. The moment you increase the distance to the edge, or you increase the height of the edge, meaning you go lower, you'll see a higher angle. Super simple. Alright, moving on to rare edges. Sometimes when you build up a buffer, you'll notice that no matter how much buffer you build up, it doesn't really take you far. But then you do notice that if you take a buffer specifically towards that edge, then it does take you further. Now, if you take that to the extreme, and you just make sure that you get that edge, boom, you'll see that it takes you all the way back. So taking that logic, all of that distance specifically from that edge, and work around it but still being above the edge, therefore keeping the buffer, and it doesn't work. So it's important you understand that there are rare edges that only gain distance if you make a buffer specifically for that edge. Alright, so there are two types of gliding. The first type is the vanishing type, where you just see somebody move and then they disappear and reappear somewhere else, just like we see right now. That means that that person is not the host in the match. Now typically there's only one host per team, and so one person will have a smooth glide like this, and the rest will have that vanishing glide basically.
Alright guys, so a few finishing notes. Basically, I've shown you guys how to do an edge glide when you're going over the wall. But what if you're going towards the edge, right? If you're going towards the edge, it's the same thing, but instead of using your left stick to use against the wall, you just have to just click R2, just click chakra jump, because that's the thing that's actually going to get you towards that. The only thing we do when we click the left stick plus chakra jump is that we fool the game into thinking that our front is already facing towards that edge. Make sure you watch out for those rare edges. Most bridges or bridge-like shapes work like that when we were talking about the rare edges. Yeah, and also there's this thing called pre-buffer. Now pre-buffer is when a match just starts, you start with a buffer before you even did anything. So that's like you just, like you ran a marathon before you got to the spawn. So it's really good to use your pre-buffer to go from spawn to B, from spawn to the enemy flag, from spawn to the enemy scroll. These are all these things you can do. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it was clear. If there are any questions, make sure to hit me up in the comment section. If we get 420 likes for this video, you'll see me upload the next video tomorrow, where I'm going to show you the next level to these techniques. Alright boys, I've explained everything I could about edge gliding, so make sure you hit that follow. If you have any questions, come over to my Twitch, check me out. I haven't been able to stream now because I'm editing these videos plus a few more right now to go in depth about a few things. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me.
You explain how to do everything in the intro.
What? What do you mean? Right. Okay. Yeah. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And if we reach 420 likes, I'll upload that tomorrow. Peace.